Today we shall talk about subject and predicate. So, what are subject and predicate? Subject and predicate, they are nothing but two parts of a sentence. So, a sentence which we know to be a group of words which convey a particular meaning, a meaningful group of words is known as sentence. Now, a sentence has two parts. A sentence has two parts. First part is known as naming part, and the second part is known as telling part. So from the name itself we can understand naming part, that means it is bearing some name, that means some noun or pronoun, and telling part means it is telling about what this noun or pronoun is doing. Telling part is telling something about this. So naming part and telling part. Now naming part can either be a noun, which is a name, or it can be a pronoun. You all know what pronoun is. It sits in place of noun, pronoun, or it can be a group of words which refers to a noun. The meaning will be a noun, okay, but it can be a group of words. We shall see an example. It can be a group of words. It can also be adjective plus noun. Whatever it is, it has to do something with noun or pronoun. This is what is naming part. Name means noun. So from there. Now, this naming part is what is known as subject. This is known as subject. Now, let us talk about telling part. Telling part, it can be a word. It can be a word, or it can be word plus some other words. Word can have some other words also, but verb will be there. This is must. Verb will be there. Now this word, which is the telling part, this is known as predicate. Predicate. So, sentence has two parts. First is naming part, which is known as subject. Second is telling part, which is known as predicate. Subject can be noun, pronoun, group of words, or adjective plus noun. Predicate will be word or word plus some other words. Now, we shall see subject and predicate in more details in some sentences. Now, let us see these sentences one by one in order to understand subject and predicate even more clearly. Now, as each of these sentences, they will have one subject part and one predicate part. So, what I shall do is, I shall underline the subject with red and circle the predicate with red only, because it will be comfortable. I have to use red because I don't have many options. You don't use red in your copy, okay? You use some other color. And you can note down all these sentences in your exercise book. Now, let us start with the first sentence. First sentence is rain drops. Short sentence, a very small sentence, but quite a meaningful sentence in that. Rain drops. So here, subject is rain, predicate is drops. Okay? So, rain, it is a noun, and predicate, as you all know, it should be a verb. So, drops is a verb. Now, let us see the second sentence. He goes. So, clearly, he is subject and goes is predicate. Now, here the subject is a pronoun. Third sentence says, cows eat grass. So, cows, subject, eat grass. As I told you, it can be verb or verb plus some words. So, it will be the entire thing. Eat grass is the predicate. So, let me just write it down here. This says subject and this is predicate. I hope you can understand. I am just writing small. Now let's come to the fourth sentence. Hari had a little kid. So Hari is the subject, had a little kid. Word plus some words. Had is the verb plus a little kid, few words. So the whole thing is a predicate. Now, as I told you, subject will be noun, pronoun or a group of words which refers to a noun. So that is what is reflected here. A piece of pizza. Now, the whole thing is a subject. A piece of pizza. Okay. Will satisfy my hunger. This is the predicate. Will is the verb. Predicate will always begin with a verb. Predicate will always begin with either it will be only a verb, or if it has few more words, it will begin with a verb and then it will have those words. So that's what it is. Now let's come to the next sentence. Every day I brush my teeth. So which is the subject here? Every day? No. Subject is I. Subject is I, because the sentence is about I, isn't it? Every day I brush my teeth. It could have been very well, I brush my teeth every day. That is also correct. But it is written in this way, this is also correct. But subject will be I. And brush is the verb, so predicate will begin with the verb. This whole thing will be a predicate. Brush my teeth will be predicate. Every day you can ignore. Then the next sentence is also interesting. Look here. Here comes our teacher. So which is the subject? We have seen the subject is coming on the beginning of the sentence, isn't it? So by that logic, what should be the subject here? Here? No. Subject will always be a noun or pronoun. Here is no noun or pronoun. It cannot be subject. So what will be subject here? Here comes our teacher, which is the main part of the sentence, or rather on whom is the sentence being said? It is said for the teacher. Here comes our teacher, it is the subject, and here comes is the predicate. Now is it getting confusing? Because subject is coming anywhere in the sentence. It is coming in the beginning, it is coming in the middle, or it is coming at the end also. Please don't be scared. Just in a while I'll tell you a trick how to find the subject. Okay. As for now, you concentrate on the sentences. So here comes our teacher is the subject, and here comes is the predicate. Now let us see the next sentence. There is a cockroach in the cupboard. Now with there, sometimes there can be a confusion. There are many sentences which begin with there. Okay. But keep in mind that there is just signaling towards the noun. So there is a cockroach in the cupboard. So it could have been a cockroach is there in the cupboard. That is entirely correct. So the subject will be a cockroach. A cockroach is the subject. Okay. And is there in the cupboard, because is has to be there. A predicate will have a verb. And which is the verb here? The verb is. So this has to be there. Okay. Is in the cupboard. You can take there, no problem. You can leave it, no problem. But is will be there in the predicate. Is in the cupboard. This is the correct way to write down. Now let's see the next one. After the movie, we went for dinner. So what is the subject here? After the movie? No. After the movie is not a naming part. The naming part is what? The naming part is we. So we will be subject here. We. Subject could, sentence could also have been, we went for dinner after the movie. There is no problem in that, isn't it? But this is also a way of writing the sentence. After the movie, we went for the dinner. No problem. But we have to understand where the subject is. And I will tell you a trick, so don't worry. We is the subject, went for dinner, either. You can write just this much. Went for dinner after the movie. You can include that also. So there, that's what it is. Now the last sentence. A lame man is begging. A lame man is subject. As I told you, subject can be adjective plus noun. So here lame is adjective plus noun. This is the subject. Is begging is clearly the predicate. Okay. So you can just quickly write it down in your copy, and you can also follow this method only. Underline and circle, so it will be easier for you to understand. Now we shall quickly see what is the technique or what is the method by which we can convinced or we can be certain that this is the subject. Okay, sometimes confusion is there. Oh, subject is in the beginning or in the middle or in the end. Which part is the subject? I am not able to understand. But if you follow that technique, then subject and predicate will be very clear to you. So here we shall talk about the technique for locating subject and predicate. Technique. Technique means method. Technique for locating subject. So let's keep it up till this only, because if we know the subject, then finding predicate is no issue, isn't it? So the main problem is with subject. Now, what do we have to do? Let us see. Let's take a sentence. Meeta goes to school. Okay, and one more. How high is the mountain? Okay, so let us take these two sentences. Now, what do we have to do? First, the first step of the rule is we will have to find the verb. Find the verb. Find the verb. First thing that we have to do is find the verb in the sentence. Now, for the first sentence, Meeta goes to school. For the first sentence, what is the verb? It is goes. Goes. Okay. And in the second sentence, let's see. How high is the mountain? How high is the mountain? So, which is the verb here? Which is the verb here? The verb is. Is. Now, the second, we have found the verb. Now, the second thing to do is put who or what before, very important, before the verb. Who or what before the verb. Okay. Now, if we put who here, who goes? Who goes? Meeta goes to school. If we put who before goes, who goes? What will be the answer? What will be the answer? Meeta. Isn't it? Who goes? Meeta goes. So, Meeta is the answer. The answer is the subject. Understood? What we have done? We have found out the verb and then we have put who or what as the situation is. Who will come for living thing, what will come for non-living thing. So, who we put before the verb. Remember, before the verb. So, who goes and the answer will come out Meeta. So, Meeta is the subject. Second one, how high is the mountain? What is? What is? What is high basically? What is high? How high is the mountain? What is high? So, the answer will be mountain. So, this is the subject. So, wherever the subject is, what you have to do is, first you have to find the verb. Every sentence will have a verb. So, you have to just locate the verb. So, you have to know exactly what the verbs are. Verbs can be action verb, verbs can be be verb, like here it is be is a be verb. It can be principal verb, supporting verb. So, verb you have to be clear. So, after you have found out the verb, just you put who or what before the verb and the answer is the subject. So, you don't have to be scared. Even if the subject is in the middle of the sentence or in the end of the sentence, you will definitely get the subject if you follow this trick. First step, find the verb of the sentence. Second step, put who or what. Let us take some more example. Like the third example, let us take one more example. What is, how beautiful you look. Every day I brush my teeth. Okay, so quickly, what is the verb in this sentence? What is the verb in this sentence? I brush. Brush is the verb, isn't it? Brush is the verb. Now, I will put who brush. Who brush. So, what will be the answer? Who brush? I brush. The answer will be I. So, this is subject. Now if this is subject, if I is subject, then the whole rest of the part becomes predicate, isn't it? Now here also, if mountain is the subject, if mountain is the subject, sorry, I circled it, it will not be circled by our by what we have decided, it should be underlined. If mountain is the subject, then you can convincingly, you can circle the entire thing, this will be predicate. Okay, so follow this technique and you will never have problem to find out the subject of the sentence. Now, one last thing is there which I would like to mention. There is one kind of sentence which is known as imperative sentence, and it is sometimes confusing to find the subject because there is no subject visible in the sentence. Let us see, this thing is over. Now, some unusual sentence. Unusual sentences like sit down or close the door. So here we see that if we find out the verb is sit, okay, sit down, but we don't see any who sit down. We don't know, isn't it? Because there is no noun, pronoun, anything. So we get confused what will be the subject here. But one thing you keep in mind, that these kind of sentences, these are basically orders or command, isn't it? Sit down, who will say? Somebody who is commanding you. And if it is said sit down or close the door, so it is imperative that it is said to you. You are the subject. So you is hidden. You sit down. Basically, it is being tried to tell you that you sit down. You close the door. You is hidden. So, in this kind of sentences, always the subject will be what? You. Though it is not seen in the sentence, but you have to write by yourself, subject will be you, and the entire thing will be predicate. The entire thing will be predicate. Close the door, it is the predicate, and the subject is you, which you have to write by yourself. So, this is all regarding subject and predicate. What we have spoken till now, we have spoken about the part of sentence. Sentence has two parts, naming part and telling part. Naming part can be noun, pronoun, a group of verb, or adjective plus noun, and the naming part is known as subject. Predicate will be the telling part, which has verb or verb plus some words. So, this is what a subject and predicate is. Now, subject can be either in the beginning of the sentence mostly, or it can be in the middle of the sentence, or it can be at the end of the sentence. There is a technique to find out the subject of the sentence, and that is, we have to first pluck the verb from the sentence. We have to pick out the verb from the sentence, and then we have to put who or what before the verb of the sentence. Whatever the answer is, that is the subject, no matter wherever it is placed in the sentence. Okay, so once you have found the subject of the sentence, then the predicate is no problem, rest the whole part will be predicate only. So this is one technique to locate the subject of the sentence. Then the last part that we spoke about is some unusual sentence in which we do not see a proper subject. These sentences can be command or order, and in these sentences it is obvious that you is the subject. So we have to put this subject by ourselves. So I hope with this subject and predicate is clear to you. I'll just at the end of this video I'll give you a worksheet. You please do it and keep on practicing. And if you have liked the video, then please, you know what you have to do: like, share and subscribe.